In this video, we will show you how to replace your front brake caliper on this Honda Civic. This will be located behind your front wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we have to do, safely raise and support the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. I like to have the suspension hanging. Once you've completed that, we're going to remove all 5 of these lug nuts using a 19mm so we can remove the wheel. Now that we have the wheel off of there, we have a clear view of our brake caliper. Now we're going to move along to paying attention to our bleeder screw attached to the caliper here. Typically you're going to find that it has a rubber protective boot. We can remove that. If you can't remove it with your hands, you could just use a small prying device such as a pry bar or even a flat blade screwdriver. Just go ahead and give that a quick inspection and we'll set that aside. Now we can start opening up the bleeder screw. It's a good idea to use some penetrant in this area. We're going to be using a 10mm. We want to make sure we have some sort of collection receptacle under this area to collect and recycle that fluid. Let's start opening the bleeder screw here. If it feels like it's binding in any way, you want to be careful not to break it off. This one actually moved fairly freely, and I can see some fluid making its way through this area. At this point, we're going to pause here, make our way into the passenger compartment. We have to press the brake pedal all the way down to the floor and hold it there with something such as a pry bar or a rod of some sort. Now I'm going to press this all the way in. Let's make our way back to that caliper. We're back in the wheel well. Let's go ahead and close that bleeder screw. We can remove our apparatus from this area. At this point, we're going to continue on down along this area. You can see your banjo bolt where your brake flex hose connects onto the caliper itself. We're going to break this free. You may find that brake fluid makes its way out of this area, so make sure you have a collection receptacle so you can recycle that fluid properly. I'm using a 14mm. Okay. Nothing for fluid there, that's okay. At this point, I'm only going to lightly snug this by hand, and we'll continue on to our 2 caliper slider mounting bolts. For these 2 bolts, we're using a 12mm. I'm going to start with the upper one. We'll fully remove it, a quick inspection, start it back in a couple threads. Okay, that'll hold the caliper from falling. Let's continue on to our last mounting bolt down along the bottom here, holding the caliper to that slider pin. That bolt looks good. Both those bolts look good and they're the same. You don't have to worry about mixing them up. Go ahead and take hold of the caliper. We're going to start pulling it out and away. You're going to find you have brake pads behind this area. They do have brake pad springs on them. We want to make sure they don't fall out of place. For now, let's take hold of the caliper and we'll bring it up into a position where it can't fall. We're going to remove each one of our 2 brake pads next. To remove the brake pads, we'll start with the springs here. Go ahead and take hold of those and slide them right on out of there. If it looks like they're rotted, weak, or damaged, you definitely want to replace them. These are pretty important. Let's continue on with the next one. Same process, quick inspection, set it aside. Go ahead and remove your brake pads, give them a thorough inspection. As for the brake pads, you just want to make sure they're not damaged or worn at an angle. If that's the case, you could have an issue with the caliper slider pins. Either way, it's a good idea to replace the brake pads if it looks like they're worn. Let's get that next one. That one looks good as well. With the caliper safely rested aside, let's continue on to removing the caliper bracket from this area. Just have a quick look along the back side of the brakes here. This is where you're going to find your 2 17mm headed mounting bolts. You know what to do. Let's fully remove the upper one first, start it back in a couple threads. That looks good. Now it's time for the next one. We're making sure we're holding onto the bracket as we continue on with that final mounting bolt so it does not fall down and potentially hurt us. Go ahead and remove that bracket. Set it aside for recycling. At this point, it's time to focus on the caliper again. Right back at that banjo bolt, we're going to remove this. Just keep in mind there could be fluid here. We don't want to do it over the brake rotor, which can cause damage. Let's just go ahead and start removing that banjo bolt over a collection receptacle. There we are. Go ahead and set that brake flex hose aside. We'll hold onto the port of the caliper itself, and there it is, friend. Set it aside for recycling. Now it's time to focus on that brake flex hose itself. We're going to remove the banjo bolt and any existing gaskets. We want to make sure that there's no gasket on either side of the brake flex hose. Double check to make sure it's not rotted, weak, or damaged as well. Set that flex hose aside. Continue on with the banjo bolt itself. We're going to make sure that we remove any gaskets that might be on this. Go ahead and set those aside for recycling as well. A quick inspection of that banjo bolt and we'll set it aside. Now it's time to install our brand new caliper. The first thing we want to do is start over at the bench. We're going to disassemble it and lubricate it. Along the back side of the caliper, we're going to find that we have a brand new banjo bolt and brand new gaskets. This is a bonus here. Let's go ahead and take those off first. We'll set that aside for now. We will be using those. Next thing, continue on to your 2 caliper slider bolts. Turn those counterclockwise to remove them. Let's take hold of this portion of the caliper and we're going to set it aside and we'll focus on the bracket itself. Now as for the caliper bracket, the next thing I always like to do is remove each one of my 2 caliper slider pins from their corresponding boots. And we're going to clean those and then we'll continue on by installing brand new lubricant in here. Typically during shipping they will come with some lubricant. I like to replace it. It's essentially assembly lubricant. I'm just going to give that a quick wipe here with a nice clean rag. For this I'm just using high temperature caliper lubricant. We'll lubricate the entire smooth shafted area and then all the way up close to where my fingers are holding this, you can see that there's a small groove. Where that groove is where the boot's going to sit. It's important to have lubricant here. Let's slide that into place. Press it in as far as you can. Now I'm going to squeeze on the boot a little bit, attempting to remove any air from inside of that boot so it's not getting forced outward. Repeat the process for the next slider pin. As for these slider pins, you're going to find that you have a vibration dampener on one. It's important to make sure that that slider pin makes its way back into its corresponding port. We're adding our lubricant all the way down this and all the way up at that small groove where the boot sits. Let's press this into this port here, give it a small twist, remove any air from the boot. Now there's 2 more areas that we're going to focus and that's on each side of the bracket. Right along these areas are where the caliper bracket tins are going to sit. It's going to be the same exact thing on either side of the bracket. Go ahead and apply some lubricant and install your tins. We'll just make sure we have those tins in the proper orientation. They should want to line up and you should be able to press them into position. Listen for a click, make sure they're secure. We don't want these falling off, potentially causing some sort of brake noise. Now we're looking at the next portion of the caliper. There are several areas on this that we want to pay attention to. Firstly, I always like to apply some lubricant along the caliper piston itself. I'm using high temperature lubricant here. Once I've done that, I'm also going to do the backside of each of these 2 ears. Essentially only on the areas that the caliper touches up against the brake pads. This will help with vibration dampening and noise reduction overall. Now we can pause with that caliper. We're going to take the caliper bracket and start installing it on the vehicle. When installing the caliper bracket, we're going to carefully bring this over our brake rotor. You don't want to cause any damage here. We'll just get it in position. After aligning the mounting bolt ports, continue on with your 2 mounting bolts. For these, I like to use some blue thread locker. We'll start both of them in. Once they're both started in, you can snug them up and torque them to 80 foot-pounds. Double check, make sure that's properly secured in place, not off kilter in any way. Now it's time to install the brake pads. At this point, several things are going to be happening at the same time. Of course, we will have to pay attention to where each one of the brake pads goes. Aside from that, once we do have them in place, we also have our brake pad springs. When installing those, the brake pads are going to start getting forced away from the brake rotor, so we're going to have to hold those in place. While holding those in place, we're going to continue on with our caliper, sliding it on, holding everything together. When installing your brake pads, we want to have them in the same orientation. An easy way to tell which way they were would be the wear indicator. That should be on the inboard pad. Aside from that, typically you're going to see a circular ring on the inboard pad as well, where that caliper piston was. And if you're looking at the outboard pad, commonly for that, you're only really going to see areas with markings for those 2 ears of the caliper. Let's start getting this into place. Start with one ear and then roll it in on the other one. This can be a tight fit at times. Now when you go to install your brake pads, if you find that you have to hammer them in for some reason, something might be off kilter or possibly the brake pads themselves have to be cleaned up on the ears that slide into the caliper. That went in fine, so let's continue on with the outboard pad. Same process here. There we are. We do have movement from each one of these 2 pads. They move around freely as they should. Now it's time for our brake pad springs. We already confirmed that they are still in usable order. For these, you just want to find the ports in each one of the 2 brake pads and put them into their corresponding areas here. So I can see that one's directly across from the other as far as the brake pads are concerned. I'm going to have to hold pressure on this, as I mentioned before, while we continue on. Just double check to make sure those are in place. They should be able to move around. The caliper itself will hold everything on. Now it's time to install our brake caliper. This is going to slide right over those brake pads and the slider pins themselves. Press it right on there. While holding that in position, continue on with your caliper slider mounting bolts. I'm using blue thread locker. We'll start each of these in, snug them up. The torque for these is 25 foot-pounds. Let's get those torqued. It's time to attach the brake flex hose to the backside of the caliper. The first thing we want to do is take our brand new banjo bolt with one of our brand new gaskets. Never reuse your original gaskets. We'll take that banjo bolt and slide it straight on through the brake flex hose. Now we have a gasket in between the brake flex hose and that banjo bolt. Continue on with your second gasket. That's going to go on the other side of the brake flex hose. Now you're going to have a gasket on each side. Let's get this brake flex hose in position along the back side of the caliper. On the caliper itself, it does have a small groove for the brake line to fit through. We'll just go ahead and line that up, press it in, start it in by hand. Once you have that snug, we're going to torque this to 26 foot-pounds. Double check, make sure everything's secured, and you can see each one of these two gaskets is lightly squished. You do not want to have any gap in either of these areas. Let's release pressure from that brake pedal. Now that we have everything installed here, the next thing that we want to do is complete a gravity bleed. To do that, we're going to make our way down to the bleeder screw using a 10mm. Go ahead and open this up. We have a collection receptacle under here. What we're waiting for is to see a steady trickle of fluid making its way out with no air bubbles. When doing this, you want to make sure you check your brake fluid master periodically to confirm it does not run dry. Okay, at this point, this has been running out for a little while here. I see only fluid making its way out with no small air bubbles. Let's go ahead and close this. Let's make sure we clean up any mess and reinstall our bleeder screw cover. The next thing we have to do is make our way into the passenger compartment. Pump up the brake pedal till it's nice and firm. If it feels as though it's only soft and squishy, you might have air trapped in the system. If that's the case, continue on with a manual brake bleed. Otherwise, continue on reinstalling your wheel. Let's get our wheel in place. Start on all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts, bottom them out. We got the wheel back on the ground. Let's torque each one of our lug nuts in a crisscross manner to that 80 foot-pounds. Torqued. All right, the vehicle's completely back together. The next thing we'll do is hop in the passenger compartment, take the vehicle for a road test, and test the functionality. Thanks for watching. In this video, we are going to show you how to bleed the brakes on this Honda Civic. Make sure you have some brake fluid and some parts cleaner. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we want to mention is you will have to safely raise and support and remove all wheels, so make sure you're in a safe area to do so. Aside from that, we have some clean .3 or 4 brake fluid and some parts cleaner. Let's start up with the master cylinder upper reservoir. Go ahead and remove the cap, give it a quick inspection and set it aside. Inside of the master cylinder, you're going to find that there's a small screen. We can remove that. Let's be careful not to get any brake fluid on any of our paint of our vehicle. For this, I'm just using a small angled pick. It's easier than reaching in by hand. Quick inspection of that screen, we'll set it aside. Now we're going to remove as much fluid from inside of the reservoir as possible. Keep in mind, this is only the upper reservoir. It still has a second reservoir all the way down at the master cylinder, but that one's pretty much impossible to drain from this area. To remove the fluid, you can use a fluid extractor, you can use one that's portable like this, or even one that uses air as a vacuum. After removing as much fluid as possible, before adding anything, let's continue on reinstalling our protective screen. We want to confirm nothing falls inside of the braking system. Top off your master cylinder with your brand new brake fluid. We're going to bring it all the way up to this line and reinstall our master cylinder cap. Now the next thing we have to do is safely raise and support the vehicle so we can remove all wheels. Once you have the wheels off, inspect the calipers and the bleeder screws. The bleeder screws need to open so we can complete this bleeding process. Now it's time to bleed the brakes. We've already removed all wheels and loosened each one of our bleeder screws, confirming that they do open properly. And the process will be the same for each wheel, but there is a specific sequence. As far as the sequence is concerned, we want to start at the driver's side front. We'll go over to the passenger side front once that's completed, make our way up to the master cylinder, and check that fluid. Top it off as necessary. After you've completed that, you're going to the passenger side rear, and then ending at the driver's side rear. To bleed the brakes, of course, we're going to have a collection receptacle because we will collect and recycle all fluid properly. This is easiest if we have a second person inside of the vehicle preparing to pump the brakes for us. Now on this caliper, I'm using a 10mm for my bleeder screw. We'll get our collection receptacle in place. Go ahead and pump up the brake pedal, please. Now while they're holding, I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we're watching to see fluid making its way out of here. Commonly, you're going to see some dirty fluid or even air. We need to repeat this process until you see only clean brake fluid making its way out. Go ahead and pump. Go ahead and pump. Okay, so we're just getting some small air bubbles there. Obviously, if you have to repeat this process several times to remove air or even dirty fluid, you want to go ahead and check that master cylinder just in case. You never want it to run dry on fluid. After that, just go ahead and lightly close it off. We can remove our apparatus from this area. Let's make sure we clean up any mess and reinstall our bleeder screw cover. Okay, we finished bleeding this brake. Let's go over to the passenger side front brake. Repeat this bleeding process. After that, stop at the master cylinder so you can top it off before proceeding to your next brake. Let's get that cap off of there. Top off our brake fluid. Now after topping off the master cylinder, we're at our passenger side rear, 10mm for that bleeder screw, and we have our collection receptacle. Go ahead and pump up the brake pedal, please. Go ahead and pump. Perfect. You can release, thank you. Let's remove our wrench. We'll clean up our mess, reinstall our bleeder screw cover. Now at this point, you want to repeat this exact same process on the driver's side rear. After that, make your way back up to the master cylinder once again. Now we're back up under the hood. It's time to top off that master cylinder one last time. Double check, make sure your cap is properly secured. You don't want any dirt or moisture making its way into the braking system. Okay friend, we finished our job. The next thing you need to do is go ahead and pump up that brake pedal till it's nice and firm. Triple check for leaks. It's super important to make sure you have no brake fluid leaks. After that, reinstall every one of your wheels and torque those lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds. Take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.